We spend so much time expressing our love. Who wouldn't just look at that beautiful mutt? But our affection does not translate naturally into doggy language. Forget hugs and kisses. We'll give you other 9 little things that speak even more directly to your dog's heart. Some of these might surprise you, but trust us, your dog will appreciate every moment. Let's get into it. Get to really know your dog. Dogs can be, and often are, just as complex as people. We're not just talking about knowing their favorite spot to snooze, or which flavor of treat gets their butt wagging, though that's a good start. I mean really understanding what makes your dog tick. Like, are they the let's chase everything that moves type? Or are they more of a Netflix and belly rubs kind of pup? Every dog has their own quirks and, yes, even pet peeves, like that one toy they won't touch. Or maybe they like their blanket rolled up that way, thank you very much. These are the things that make your dog your dog. Once you've figured out their doggy love language, you'll be the best human in their eyes. What says I love you more than knowing exactly where their secret itchy spot is? Be boring. Surprise, surprise. When your dog knows what's coming next, whether it's their morning walk, mealtime, or that pre-bed belly rub, it gives them a sense of security. And in dog language, security equals love. For example, if your dog is used to eating at 6 p.m. sharp, you better believe they're keeping track of that time. Oh yeah, you might even find them giving you the look if you dare to be late. Sticking to their walk schedule? That's basically a love note. They know that at 7 a.m., it's time to hit the pavement, sniff some grass, and maybe bark at the neighbor's cat. It's easy to think dogs are just happy-go-lucky, but they really rely on those daily patterns to feel cared for. Nothing says, I love you to a dog more than knowing they can trust you to keep life running like clockwork. Learn to love the great outdoors. Specifically, grass. Yep. For some reason, dogs just love rolling around in it, munching on it, or flopping down as if they own that lawn. And sure, we may not fully understand why our dogs insist on rolling like a maniac in that one patch that smells a little too natural. But just roll with it, at least metaphorically. For your dog, grass is bliss. If your dog loves something, even if it's a little gross, what better way to show your love than to let them indulge in it? Even if it means waiting very patiently while they're chomping down on all their grass like they have a personal grudge. Even if it means an extra cleanup session later. Be their mirror. Let's say your dog flops down on the floor for a nap. Instead of getting up and doing something else, why not grab a book and hang out nearby? You don't have to constantly interact with your dog to show love. Just being in their presence creates a shared experience. And trust me, your dog gets it. Another fun way to make your dog feel loved is by subtly mirroring their body language. If your dog stretches, you stretch. It might sound a little silly, but dogs are very sensitive to the actions of their humans. And hey, this doesn't mean you need to start rolling on the ground every time they do. Though, who's judging? Don't keep your dog to yourself. Sure, you're their number one and they know it, but dogs are social creatures. They love meeting new people, playing with other dogs, and getting all the attention they can. Whether it's a friendly neighbor or a fellow dog at the park, those interactions give your pup the chance to expand their circle, feel more confident, and less anxious in unfamiliar situations. In these moments, you're letting your dog connect to the world beyond just you. And really, isn't that the ultimate sign of love? Work on your love language. Let's talk about cuddling, because what's better than snuggling up with your dog on a lazy afternoon? But before you dive into full-on cuddle mode, not all dogs are into the same type of affection. Sure, we humans love a good bear hug, but for dogs, it's a bit different. While some pups have no qualms about sitting down on your lap, especially our big boys, Great Danes, large bully breeds, retrievers, seem to conveniently forget the sheer hefty weight of their butts, especially if food is involved. Other pooches prefer a little personal space. So how do you cuddle in a way that your independent dog will actually enjoy? If they lean into you, relax in your lap, or nudge you for more pets, you're doing it right. But if they turn their head away from you ever so slightly, or very casually, crawl away a bit whenever they're not being gripped, Do give them some space. They'll appreciate the snuggles more when they are on their doggy terms. It's the ability to respect someone's aloofness or stubbornness that will tell your dog once and for all, "I really get you." Widen their world. Dogs are natural explorers, and while they might be content with their usual walk around the block and checking that all the usual scents are in order, they'll absolutely love you for occasionally shaking things up. When was the last time you tried a new walking route? Your dog's nose is their window to the world, so you'll not just change the scenery for them, you'll also keep their brain engaged and their senses sharp. Each new patch of grass they've never peed on before is a gift from above, literally, seeing as you're much taller than your dog. And speaking of sniffing, let them do it. Stopping every few feet to let them sniff a lamppost or get nose deep in a shrub may sound like a very jerky walk. But the thing is, your dog's inner meter is not counting the steps. Physical needs aside, the sniff spots, old and new, is what your dog really gets up for every day. Go beyond words. If there's something wrong with this world, is that dogs don't speak human. While telling your dog "I love you" is sweet, and in their beloved baby voice no less, leaning in when you talk to them is what really shows that you're fully engaged in that one-sided conversation. You know, the one where they tilt their head in response to everything you say. Dogs pick up on those subtle cues, like when you soften your voice or crouch down to their level. It makes them feel safe, understood, and connected. Plus, leaning in close is a great way to let them get a quick sniff. They'll appreciate the effort and maybe even reward you with a big wet kiss. Keep your cool when they don't. When your dog was a puppy, you probably expected a few messes here and there, right? But when they're a senior and you find yourself cleaning up puddles again, it's easy to feel frustrated. The truth is, though, your dog's getting older, and just like humans, they might struggle with things they didn't before. Bladder control, slower movements, or even a little confusion. Instead of getting mad or raising your voice, take a deep breath and remember all those years of loyalty, tail wags, and unconditional love they've given you. They're not trying to make a mess. It's just part of aging. Maybe your dog needs a few more bathroom breaks or some extra TLC, but that's okay. After all, love is about being there in the good times and the messy times. And who knows? Maybe one day they'll repay the favor by sticking by you when you're having a bad day or spill something yourself. We've all wondered, does my dog really love me? Or would they ditch me in a heartbeat for a meatball? The truth is, dogs have countless ways of showing affection, and most signals aren't as obvious as a wagging tail. Sign number 7. You come home after a long, hard day, excited to greet your ever-happy furball. But instead of wagging their tail, your dog decides that your hand, or maybe even your nose, is the perfect chew. What's going on? Surely you smell like your usual self, and not some dastardly stranger who decided to invade your home. As the initial panic wears off, however, you realize that instead of going full shark mode, your dog softly nibbles on you, just enough for you to feel their teeth without any pain. This toothiness is actually a huge deal. Dogs don't just gently bite anyone. In the wild, or back when their ancestors were living a little more wolfishly, dogs used soft bites during play to bond with their packmates. By giving you those gentle nibbles, your dog is treating you like one of their own. Besides, if your dog is gentle enough to avoid hurting you during play, that means you've done an excellent job teaching them boundaries. Whether it was through redirecting their energy as a puppy, rewarding good behavior, or just spending lots of time bonding, you've shown your dog how to express themselves in a safe, respectful way, and they've listened. Of course, not every dog will do this. It's not necessarily in every pup's personality, but if yours does, it's a clear sign you've built a relationship so full of trust and love that your dog can't help but show it in the most adorable way possible. Sign number 6. Human sleep patterns are strange to dogs. Although your pup probably sleeps much more than you do, potentially up to 14 hours a day, they don't tend to do it in one long chunk. Canine sleep patterns are what's known as polyphasic, meaning that they have lots of little sleeps throughout the day. One reason for this is that, in the wild, dogs are constantly on the lookout for danger. While your own furry friend hopefully shouldn't have to contend with any predator more vicious than a vacuum cleaner, these instincts still remain. As a result, from your dog's perspective, the human habit of sleeping for 8 hours in a row every night is insanely risky. Humans tend to be either monophasic or biphasic, with some of us sleeping the whole night through, and some of us having a brief period of wakefulness in the middle of the night. This is because we have relatively few predators and evolved to sleep in shelters or protected places. Your dog, however, is unlikely to have much knowledge of anthropology. They don't understand that giant eagles aren't going to swoop down and carry you off in the night. So when your pup gives you that extra affection in the mornings, they are grateful that your insane sleep gamble paid off. So your pup and their favorite companion are facing yet another day together. Sign number 5. Plop. Your dog has just jumped on a couch and nestles right up against you with a deep sigh. Do they think that having no fur yourself, you must be cold? Or need propping to avoid falling down on the floor? We can't say for sure what's going through your dog's mind, but we're pretty sure about their feelings. Dogs are instinctively cautious about where they sleep and who they snuggle with. If they know they can let their guard down with you, you're proving that you're more than just their owner. You're their family. Most beloved family who even scratches them behind the ear. And snuggling benefits you too. Studies have shown that spending quality time with your dog can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and even release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Of course, every dog is different. Some pups might show their love in a more dignified way, like sitting near you or leaning against your leg. But if your dog loves to burrow into your side, curl up on your lap, or even take over your entire bed, classic move. It's a clear sign they feel safe, loved, and cherished. Sign number 4. Well, hell you. Your dog has just planted a wet, slobbery kiss right on your cheek, or maybe even your mouth. Not the most hygienic greeting, but take it as a huge compliment. In the dog world, licking is a deeply ingrained instinct. Puppies lick their mothers' faces to communicate, bond, and even ask for food. Yes, regurgitated food, but let's not dwell on that. This behavior carries over into adulthood as a way for dogs to express affection. When your dog licks your face, it's their way of saying, "You're my favorite person, therefore I gift you my precious saliva." Or something like that. But there's more to it. Dogs are experts at reading human emotions, and licking can also be their way of comforting you. If your pup is extra lick-happy when you're sad or stressed, that slobbery kiss is their version of a pep talk. Of course, not every face lick is purely symbolic. Sometimes it's just a sneaky way for your dog to taste that peanut butter toast you had earlier. But even then, it's a sign they're comfortable enough to get up close and personal. Sign number 3. You're sitting on the couch, minding your own business, when suddenly, woof, there's your dog, staring at you with an expectant expression. What's going on? Are they trying to warn you about something? Are they upset? Relax. You're not being scolded, and there's no evil-minded mailman lurking around the corner. In the wild, dogs would vocalize with their packmates to share information or strengthen bonds. Now, you're their pack, and those sounds are part of your special language. Every noise carries meaning. The grumble? A little teasing banter or complaint about something huge, like you taking too long to grab the leash. Even that long, dramatic sigh could be their version of, "Seriously, why aren't we doing something fun right now?" If your dog is talking to you regularly, it's because you've created an environment where they feel understood. Sign number 2. You're trying to snuggle down to sleep, but your pup is making it surprisingly difficult. Maybe they're sitting like a rock in the middle of the bed, making it impossible to stretch your legs out, or maybe they're on your pillow making everything smell like dog breath. They might even perch on your legs, like they're trying to anchor you down for the entire night. Well, before you push them aside, stop to consider that a dog sleeping near or on top of a human is actually a huge sign of trust. Your dog sleeping near you shows that they find your presence relaxing and restful in a way that soothes their basic fight or flight instincts. And it can be soothing for you too. As you're dozing off and your dog snuggles up beside you, you can feel the gentle rise and fall of their breathing, and somehow it feels like the most calming thing in the world. Studies have shown that dogs' heart rates can synchronize with their owners when they sleep together. So, while it might be a bit inconvenient to have a furry heater glued to your side, it's also a special time when your hearts are in perfect sync with each other. Sign number 1. You head to the kitchen for a glass of water. There they are. Step into the bathroom for a moment of privacy. Nope, not happening. You can't even turn around without accidentally tripping over your four-legged shadow. While this might seem like clinginess, it's actually one of the clearest signs you're a phenomenal dog owner. Back when their ancestors roamed in packs, sticking together meant survival. Fast forward to today, your dog has chosen you as their personal guide, protector, and all-around favorite human. Dogs don't shadow people they distrust. If they're glued to your side, it's because they believe you're their safe haven, someone who will protect and care for them no matter what. And let's not forget the more practical side of things. You've created a routine that your dog thrives on. Whether it's mealtime, playtime, or just sitting together on the couch, your dog knows that good things happen when they're around you. We humans put up with a lot of weirdness when it comes to our fur babies saying, "I love you," but so do our pups. They're so warm and so fluffy and so cute. Surely they were made to be cuddled, not according to science. In a 2016 study, dog behaviorists looked at 250 photos of dogs being hugged by their humans and found that as much as 82% of the poor pooches showed subtle signs of distress and anxiety that were unnoticed by their humans. But why do dogs not like to be cuddled? And what are those signs of doggy disapproval that your furry friend might use to subtly indicate that they're not enjoying your cuddle sesh? And what are you meant to do instead? For the answers to all these questions, just watch this video. And to continue on your journey to becoming the best dog parent that you can be, why not subscribe to our channel and join our canine loving community for more tips and tricks on how to care for your dog. Why don't dogs like being hugged? It's a good question. Hugging is great after all. There's a reason why you keep doing it. Your dog is the most soft and squeezable fur ball. Why doesn't your fur baby enjoy it as much as you do? Well, there are 5 reasons why. One of the major mistakes that dog parents make when hugging their dogs is how much pressure they use. Dogs are a lot smaller than us, even those Great Danes, and they don't have the ability to hug us back anything like as hard. They just don't have the grip strength in their front legs. Your fur baby, therefore, won't appreciate it if you try to squeeze them too tightly while giving them a cuddle, and will likely try to get away. Speaking of which, dogs don't like feeling trapped. You probably don't think of giving your dog a cuddle as a form of confinement, but your pup might. Again, they can't escape easily when you're wrapping your arms around them, and they probably don't want to struggle too hard against you anyway. You're their human. They want to make you happy. How long do you hug your dog for? With merely a friendly greeting hug, you probably only take a few moments, but some days you just need to have a proper long hugging session. You've had a hard day and you just need a proper cuddle, but your fur baby can't handle being hugged for too much time. After a few moments, they'll likely get antsy about having to stay so still for so long, in a position that is kind of uncomfortable for them. We said that your fur baby doesn't like feeling like they're confined, and the only thing that's worse than feeling trapped on the ground is feeling trapped in the air. Your fur baby isn't Snoopy, and they're not interested in fighting the Red Baron, so being taken off the ground and squeezed is a bit of a nerve-wracking experience for them. They can't wriggle out of your arms even if they were willing to upset you by doing so, because they'd end up falling onto the ground, and you're probably tall enough that this could be a pretty big fall, especially for a small dog. Ultimately, the most important thing when interacting with your fur baby is to keep an eye on their body language. The worst thing that you can do is ignore it when your dog is trying to let you know that they're not having fun. But how can you tell what your dog is feeling? How can you recognize when they're not feeling right? Well, why not watch on and find out? How to tell when your dog is feeling upset about a hug? There are a lot of ways that your dog might try to show it when they're feeling unhappy. from the obvious, like growling and wriggling, to the more subtle ways. Here are 3 signs that your dog is unhappy that you might not notice at first glance. You might think that when your dog makes their eyes all big and rolls them sideways so that you can see their whites, that they're trying to look all cute and adorable. After all, it's how cute puppies tend to be drawn on greeting cards. Surely it's a sign that they're happy? No, quite the opposite. This whale eye or moon eye is actually a sign that your dog is experiencing discomfort. If you notice your pup has this expression while you're hugging them, then it's time to stop. Displacement behavior is a fancy word for fidgeting, and it's the way that your dog tries to work off their excess anxious energy when they're feeling upset. Humans will often do this by fiddling with jewelry, tapping their feet, or pacing up and down. Dogs do it by licking their lips, yawning, panting when it isn't hot, or lifting one of their front paws off of the ground for no reason. If you notice your fur baby doing this while you're hugging them, then it means that they're trying to suppress the urge to wriggle away. Speaking of which, wriggling. If the hug gets way too much for your dog, then they might start actively trying to make their escape. They'll probably start small at first, and it might feel like it would be easy enough to just hold on to them a bit longer. But don't! A dog who is trying to wriggle their way out of your arms is officially at their wits' end. Don't wait for things to get worse before you let them go. What do we do when we get something we like? That's right, ask for more. If your dog is truly enjoying a hug or cuddle, they'll often relax into it, leaning against you, or even presenting their favorite places for a scratch. A dog's most scratchable spots are their head, side, belly, and the base of their tail. And if they're enjoying your petting session, they will be angling to place them as close to your hands as they can. If that doesn't happen, it's a sign they're not enjoying themselves as much as you are. So, what can you do instead? Your dog might not like being hugged, but sometimes you need to have one anyway. So, how can you cuddle your canine when you really need it, while making it as painless as possible for the both of you? Well, at the end of the video, we're going to be giving you 4 tips to help you do just that. Keep your arms loose. Like we said, dogs don't like feeling confined, so the best thing you can do to avoid that is to stop confining them. You can put your arms around them, but don't apply pressure if you can help it. And ideally make sure that it feels easy for your pup to get away when they want to. Keep a close eye on your dog's behavior, using the advice that we gave you in the previous section. The moment you start noticing any of those unhappy behaviors that we mentioned, even if your dog seems otherwise fine keeping on with the hug, just let them go. You can always try again later. Bribing your dog to show you affection, or rather, to let you show them affection, might seem a bit cynical. But it isn't really. Your dog doesn't really interpret being hugged as a sign of affection the way you do, after all, so they have to learn that, even though it feels strange, it's something that you want them to do. And what better way to help them understand that than with a nice treat? Not to mention, it makes the whole experience a lot more enjoyable for your pup. Some dogs will eventually learn to tolerate, or even enjoy, being hugged, but not all dogs will. For some pups, no amount of treats will be enough to bribe them to enjoy the experience. So, if you can't beat them, try joining them. Stop pushing your own body language onto your dog and start using your dog's body language instead. Petting, to a dog, feels like the human equivalent of grooming, which is the preferred canine way to express love and affection. Unlike a hug, it's always welcome. How well can you read your dog's emotions? Many dog parents assume that their dogs must be happy, since they're not actively whining or howling, but things aren't so simple. Studies show that as many as 70% of dogs are constantly anxious, despite being very much loved. Their humans don't know how to recognize when something is upsetting them. In this video, we'll look at 9 signs that your dog is feeling unhappy. Once you've picked these up, you'll be the most popular member of the pack in no time. But before we dive in, why not subscribe and join our canine loving community for more tips and tricks on how to care for your dog? Sign number 9. Whale eye never. The so-called moon eye or whale eye expression looks super cute to humans. When you see a picture of a cute cartoon puppy, they'll often be drawn this way, with their eyes rolled to the side so that you can see their whites. It makes the dog's eyes look bigger, which makes them look sweet, at least from a human perspective. But a dog with this expression isn't actually having a sweet time. Dogs show the whites of their eyes when they're feeling anxious, annoyed, or stressed. If you're petting your dog and see them doing this, then it means that they're no longer enjoying the experience and are subtly begging you to stop in the politest way they know how. Sign number 8. Getting the cold shoulder. Their paws are tucked in. Their back is curved around into a circle. Their tail wrapped all around to touch their head. If it's a very fluffy tail, it might even be spreading over their back like a soft little blanket. It's hard to argue that curled up in a ball isn't the sweetest looking canine sleeping position. But this deceptively cute looking pose can have some troubling implications. Dogs will often sleep this way if they're worried about being attacked while they're sleeping, to ensure that their soft underbelly is shielded from the outside world. A dog's belly is where they keep their fragile vital organs, and is therefore the first place that a predator or another dog would target during a fight. If a dog regularly sleeps curled up around their human, then that could suggest that they're having some issues with trust. Sign number 7. Get me out of this place. Look at that human. They are biting their nails, playing with their hair, twisting their wedding ring, and tapping their feet. Being a human yourself, you'd probably find it obvious that all these are displacement behaviors, repetitive fidgety actions that we do when we're stressed, bored, or upset. For dogs, some of the most common displacement behaviors are yawning, licking their lips, panting when it isn't hot, or lifting one of their front paws off the ground for no obvious reason. This last one can also be a way for your pup to try and signal submission and apology to a human or another dog if they think that they might have offended them in some way and want to calm things down. Dogs engage in displacement behaviors for the same reason that we do. It's a way of working off all that nervous energy. When something stresses them out, they might get the urge to either run away or lash out. However, because they want to be a good dog and make you proud, they keep it all inside, and it comes out in their weird, repetitive gestures. Sign number 6. The lion sleeps tonight. The lion poses might sound like an unusually brave name for a sleep position, but it's not a sign that your fur baby is in the running to be the next king of beasts. The lion poses is when your dog sleeps on their belly, with their head resting on their front legs and their back legs sticking out to the side. As you may have guessed from the previous section, sleeping on their belly is another way that our furry friends try to shield themselves. Even when they're standing up, an anxious dog will often try to lower their belly onto the floor. The difference between this and the curled up pose, however, is that this position has all of the dog's limbs sticking out, ready to spring into action and start running away if things should get very dangerous. Sign number 5. Making a dog's dinner of it. What does it mean if your dog's food bowl suddenly stops emptying? Well, just like you might lose your appetite when you're feeling down, stress and depression can cause a dog to stop eating. This poses a risk to more than just your dog's mental health. If a dog goes too long without eating, then it can cause muscle loss, weakened immunity, and serious, sometimes irreversible, organ damage. If you notice that your fur baby has gone off their food for more than a day or two, then consider it a red flag and make sure to take them straight to the vet as soon as possible to rule out any underlying health issues, such as dental problems, gastrointestinal distress, or other medical conditions that may be causing discomfort. Early intervention can make all the difference in helping your pup return to their happy, healthy self. Sign number 4. Crash and burn. Not only can anxiety and depression cause your fur baby to stop eating, but it can also cause them to start sleeping way too much. Dogs already sleep a lot, up to 14 hours a day. But if they're not having a great time then, just like humans, they can start sleeping even more to try and distract themselves from it. Not to mention that stress and anxiety can actually be quite tiring. Anxiety causes your dog's body to release stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, and their heart rate to rise. This creates an initial burst of energy that your dog might try to work off with a bout of the zoomies, if you're lucky, or by shredding the furniture, if you aren't. Humans get this as well. This is why so many people feel driven to clean or go for a run when they're stressed. Once these hormones deplete and their heart rate goes down, however, the dog will crash and feel tireder than ever. As a result, they end up in a kind of cycle of bursts of anxious energy where they can't sit still, followed by crashing and sleeping for hours, neither of which is any fun for them or you. Sign number 3, game over. Playfulness levels obviously vary between dogs, and it's natural for certain breeds to be less playful than others, and for older dogs to be less playful than younger dogs. But if your fur baby refuses to even acknowledge that thrown stick or that squeaky toy, then that suggests that there's a deeper problem. Dogs who are unhappy will often lose interest in their favorite activities. If your fur baby stops being playful all of a sudden, and there's no obvious health reason for it, then it's a sign that there might be something making them feel down. Sign number 2, no to love. When you try to pet your dog, how do they react? Are they all tail wags and leaning into your touch, or do they duck or flinch away? From a dog's perspective, petting is the human equivalent to grooming, which is when dogs lick each other's fur to clean it and to reinforce social bonds. If your dog resists being petted, then that's a sign that they don't consider you somebody that they want to share a social bond with. Note the context though. Physical pain could make a dog wary of being touched, or recent stress, like a change in their environment or routine, could cause them to seek distance. Watch for subtle cues like turning their head away, shifting their weight back, or even yawning, which dogs often do to self-soothe in stressful situations. These behaviors, paired with resisting petting, are signs that your dog is feeling less than happy in their current state. Sign number 1, feeling unpopular. Is your dog all over the dog sitter when they come to visit, showing them affection in a way that they never do for you? Do they go crazy for your friends when they come over while ignoring you? Do they seem friendlier even with random people on the street than they are with you? It's normal for dogs to be sociable, and some get on with strangers more than others, but any dog's human should be their safe place, the person they look to when they're scared or distressed, and the person that they prefer above all other people. Whether you already are your pup's favorite person or just getting there, there are 12 easy things you can do to skyrocket your fur baby's love. From how you give them their treats, to where you pet them, to how you put them to bed at night. By the end of this video, you'll be able to make sure that you are the absolute center of your dog's little universe. But first, why not subscribe to our canine loving community for even more tips on how to pamper your pooch? Number 12. Who wants a treat? Your dog does. And honestly, when do they not want one? But if you want to level up the love, try feeding them those tasty morsels straight from your hand. Why? Well, when you are the one who's personally delivering that joy, they start to associate your touch with all things good. Every time you hand feed your dog a treat, you're creating this little moment of connection. And because dogs are all about associations, pretty soon they'll be linking your touch with the most rewarding kind of love. Number 11. If you think of your dog as your fur baby, why not go full way and start reading them bedtime stories? This might sound a bit out there, but many owners say their dogs actually love being read to, especially if the voice is soothing and expressions animated. Some dog shelters will even have people read to the dogs in their care to relax them. Perhaps the best thing is that your dog's bedtime stories won't be restricted to "That's Not My Teddy" or "The Very Hungry Caterpillar." If you've been meaning to knock some books off your reading list, then inserting a story into your dog's bedtime means you get a chance to read some chapters, your dog gets a relaxing story, and the two of you find your relationship getting stronger. Number 10. If your pup didn't have to deal with us humans and our nonsensical rules, surely they'd never bother with any of this "sit down, come here, stay there" nonsense. So you might assume that teaching your dog how to respond to commands is something that really only benefits you. But that's not the case. Although the specific commands that you train your pup to follow probably are about making it easier for you to live with them, the training itself provides your dog with vital mental enrichment. Not only that, but spending extra time together, learning how to communicate with each other, helps strengthen the bond between the two of you. Number 9. You know that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you're hanging out with someone you really love? That feeling is caused by a chemical called oxytocin, also known as the love hormone, the hormone responsible for the formation of social bonds. It's the very same chemical that is responsible for the good feeling your dog gets when they're hanging out with you. If you want your fur baby to get that feeling even more often than they already do, then here's a simple thing to do every day. Scratch them behind the ears. Your dog's ears have a lot of nerve endings in them, and your own dog is very likely to find it something heavenly. Scratching them there prompts the release of oxytocin, literally making them love you all the more. Number 8. Dogs don't really do hugs, not least because they don't have any arms, and they don't much enjoy the wrap you up in a bear hug thing. But here's a dog-friendly version of a cuddle: leaning. Yep, dogs love to lean against the people they adore. It's their version of a warm embrace, and when they press their body against yours, they're telling you they want to be close. Sure, if you've got a big dog, having them lean on you might feel like being crashed by a wardrobe. If you hold your ground, your dog will love you more than anything. Number 7. Your dog might not have the same range of facial expressions as humans, no raised eyebrows or dramatic smirks here, but they definitely try to read our faces. It so happens that dogs respond best to exaggerated expressions because it helps them get a clearer signal from us. Next time you're praising your dog, don't hold back. Give your dog the full emotional show. When they see that beaming face of yours, they'll recognize that they're doing something right, which makes them want to do it again. The more expressive you are, the more they'll feel that love, and soon enough, they'll be flashing you those puppy dog eyes, knowing exactly how much they mean to you. Number 6. Seeing as your dog is super attuned to your body language, why not learn a bit of theirs? You probably already know that a dog's tail wagging, if it's raised in the air and wagging with fast, bold strokes, means that they are happy. But you can also spot a happy dog by their relaxed posture and their open mouth. If they're feeling playful, you might catch them play bowing by stretching their legs out in front of them, lowering their head and raising their butt in the air. This is how dogs say, "Let's have a game." By comparison, an unhappy dog will have a tense posture, flattened ears, and a lowered tail. By learning how to recognize your dog's expressions, you can more easily figure out what they like and dislike, allowing you to come up with more ways to get them to love you. Number 5. Once your dog is all tuckered out and ready for bed, the question is, where do they sleep? You might have already bought them a very lovely dog bed, but for a lot of pups, this simply isn't enough. The best place to sleep is where you sleep. This isn't just about wanting somewhere extra cozy to snuggle down. Sleeping next to you allows your dog to smell your scent near to them as they're dropping off to sleep, making them feel extra safe and secure. Number 4. One thing that dogs really love is getting a new toy, and they're sure to have a lot of positive feelings towards anyone who gives them one. Unfortunately, however, dog toys cost money, and they take up space. But here's a tip. If you notice your dog has started neglecting some of their toys, try taking them away, hiding them in a cupboard for a week or two, and then reintroducing them. The toy will smell different to how it smelled before, and your dog will assume that it's a whole new toy. With this one simple trick, you can give your dog a new toy every week and earn their eternal gratitude as a result. Number 3. Who wants a treat? Most dog owners have a go-to treat that they reach for, but you don't always have to use the same thing. You might even have some potential new dog treats already in your house. Slices of carrot, for example, make a surprisingly good dog treat. Despite dogs being mostly carnivorous, a small amount of fruit and veg in their diet can be very good for them, on top of being tasty enough to ensure that you're always their favorite person. Number 2. Dogs can sometimes struggle in the heat. They're covered in fur after all, And as a species haven't gotten around to doing the sensible thing and inventing air conditioning, luckily they have their human friends to help out, as well as giving them access to your nice, cool house. If you want your pup to really love you on those hot summer days, try putting some treats in the freezer for them or putting some ice cubes in their water bowl. Number 1. What do dogs love more than anything else? Praise. Obviously, you know that you should tell them what a good dog they are when they follow a command correctly, but why stop there? Take every opportunity to tell your pup how fantastic they are. Offer them praise for sitting on your lap or coming to greet you when you walk in the door, or just for being such a wonderful companion. Your dog will love you all the more for it, and honestly, don't they deserve that praise anyway? Aside from making them feel good in the moment, constant encouragement strengthens the bond between you and your dog. They'll wag their tail a little harder and stick by your side a little closer. But here's the tricky part. Your dog may look happy on the outside, but at the very same time, experience a secret sadness. Fortunately for us, the canine poker face isn't 100% foolproof. There will always be subtle signs that something is amiss. Stay tuned till the end, cause we'll cover one extra sign. Most dog owners fear it means being unloved by their dog, but is actually the exact opposite. Sign number 1. Your dog should view getting a treat as, well, a treat. Something nice that they look forward to and are eager to work for. But if you're offering them a slice of cheese or chicken to die for, and your dog does not seem all that excited, that can be a sign that they are upset with you about something. They may be eager at one point, wagging their tail, but then turning up their nose the next moment. What's going on? Your dog is trying to manage two competing desires. The desire to snuffle up the delicious treat, and the desire to reject anything you try to give them. Did anything happen recently that makes your dog not trust you? Sometimes, the smallest gestures of inattention or irritation can be hurtful to your dog, even if they misbehaved. We'll get to some possible reasons later in this video, but if your pup behaves as usual and is as affectionate as usual, look into the food angle a bit more. First, try a new kind of treat in case your dog is just oversated with their usual bites. Don't hold it against your pup if they're cleverly fishing for a new taste, or just something else you've got cooking that just happens to smell better at the moment. However, if the treat-refusing behavior also extends to their morning or evening meal, especially twice in a row, that might be a sign that has nothing to do with any hidden grudges. A general loss of appetite can be a situational thing, but if it lasts for over 24 hours, it's worth getting your pooch checked out by a vet. Otherwise, you should just be patient. Don't take treats away from your dog if they don't start eating them right away, and be sure to praise your dog as well as giving them food rewards, so that they know that they're getting these things because you're pleased with them. If they still seem unsure, try turning your back or leaving the room while they eat, so that they don't have to feel like they need to guard the food from you. Sign number 2. There is something unexplainably heartbreaking when you, full of love and affection, reach out to pat your best friend, only for them to duck their head or move their whole body out of the way. Dogs are generally more for than against touch, and understand it as the human version of grooming. Sure, some dogs can have a general dislike of any human touch, having had bad experiences in their past, and therefore associating a reaching hand with danger. But 90% of the time, touch avoidance in dogs is paradoxically caused by overabundance of affection. Take those heartfelt hugs. That's one common human gesture that we humans associate only with positive emotions, but dogs misinterpret as something opposite. Being grabbed and squeezed in somebody's arms, that's how they see it. So to your dog, the more emotional a hug, the more weird and uncomfortable it is. Also, your dog, as most pooches, might not like being petted on the head. It is a natural place for a human to reach, but to them it can feel a tad predatory, especially since it usually involves us looming ominously above them. Perhaps they tolerated it before, because while one of your hands was hovering over their head, another was holding a treat, or they were generally more relaxed at the time. But if your pup has stopped leaning into your pets and hugs, next time you reach for them, completely avoid the more sensitive areas of their body. like the top of the head, the paws, or the tail. Instead, focus only on the back and neck, and always give your dog a chance to sniff your hand before you pet them, as this will make them more comfortable. Sign number 3. When you walk into the room, how does your dog react? Do they wag their tail, come to greet you, bark, hello, or do they leave the room? A dog who leaves the room whenever you enter it is clearly displaying avoidance behavior. The trick to making your dog stop avoiding you is to ensure that they have some reason to enjoy your company. They need to start associating you with fun, positive things so that they start to see you as a fun, positive person. Try initiating play sessions or offering them treats. Speak calmly when you do this, and don't chase after your dog or try to force the interaction if they try to move away. Let your dog know that you're always there if they want to interact, but that they don't have to worry about you getting too close too fast. If you're calm and patient, eventually your dog should start closing the distance between you. Sign number 4. Dogs love to sleep in puppy piles. As a social species, being surrounded by members of their pack makes them feel calm and safe. So if your dog is refusing to ever sit or sleep near you, preferring to take a nap at the other end of the room, or even the other end of the house, then that's a problem. It's not necessarily a personality problem, however. Not lying next to each other is certainly a barrier for physical and emotional closeness with your dog, but there are a few reasons why it can happen. Sometimes it can be caused by a dog feeling nervous or uncomfortable around their human, but sometimes it can have a more mundane explanation, like you keep sitting in places where there's no obvious room for your dog to join you, or you've started using a detergent or shampoo with a scent that dogs hate, like lemon or mint. How to fix this? Well, don't force this kind of thing. Never fall into the trap of following your dog whenever they choose a new sleeping place after you sit near them. If you do, then they'll likely just move again, and you'll end up trailing them all around the house, which is going to be frustrating for both of you. Instead, make sure that wherever you normally sit, there's some comfy place where your dog can sit near you. Leave them a nice spot on the couch or place their basket close to your favorite chair. Also, if this started happening recently, consider whether you changed your detergent or deodorant recently. Dogs have very sensitive noses, and strong smells can quickly get overwhelming for them. Sign number 5. Have you noticed your dog getting possessive over toys, treats, or even just random household objects? They might be physically blocking you from getting at the things with their body, taking the object and running away with it, or growling and barking when you get too close. Dogs do this if they're concerned that their belongings might get stolen and not given back. This type of criminal behavior could actually indicate a deep insecurity in your pet. How to let your dog know that you're not set on stealing their treasures? First, if you see them happily munching on your slipper, don't just snatch it away. This triggers a subconscious desire in your dog to fight back and defend their stuff. If you have to take something from your dog, try offering them an item of equal value in trade. If you need to take away your dog's favorite toy to clean it, for example, then try distracting them with another toy first. Another big thing is, don't tease your dog by doing things like waving treats in front of them, or pretending to throw the ball, but then keeping it in your hand during a game of fetch. Sign number 6. A dog staring at their human is nothing unusual. Dogs use staring to communicate strong emotions, including love. But if roughhousing gets too rough, or if your dog feels wronged by you for whatever reason, a long look can also mean aggression. If your dog's gaze is very intense and their head moves whenever you move, then that suggests that they're tracking your movement. It can be a sign that your dog doesn't fully trust you and feels the need to keep an eye on you in case you do something shifty. Or, in severe cases, it can be a sign that your dog's prey drive has been activated and they themselves may be about to attack. Neither is a good sign. If you notice your pup tracking your movements like this, then once again, the first thing that you should do is give them some space, for both you and your dog's safety. Back away slowly and don't make any sudden movements. Whether your dog is worried about an attack or considering you as a source of food, a sudden move can trigger their instincts and escalate the situation. If this keeps happening, then this is another situation where it might be best to consult a professional dog trainer to help you rebuild your relationship with your dog. Sign number 7. You know that cute thing your dog does with their eyes, where they roll them sideways slightly so that you can see the whites? The thing that makes them look like they're imitating those cute puppies you see on the birthday cards you buy for your mom? Yeah, we're about to ruin that for you. Whale eye or moon eye may look really cute, but it's actually a sign of doggy distress. Other signs include licking their lips, repetitively yawning, or shaking. If you notice these behaviors in your dog, then it can be a sign that they have started having negative feelings about your relationship. The good news is, these behaviors are generally behaviors that dogs engage in when they are actively trying to avoid getting aggressive. Licking and yawning specifically are examples of displacement behaviors that animals use to work off excess frustrated energy in stressful situations, like how some humans will fiddle with their jewelry or wring their hands when they're nervous. Dogs get stressed in situations with unclear boundaries or where they feel like a human is expecting them to do something, but isn't being clear about what. Once again, consistency in training and setting up an established routine can be very helpful here. Sign number 8. When your dog has an unexpected outburst, growling and barking and potentially even lunging and snapping, then it can be scary to witness, especially if you have a big dog. But no matter how scared you are, you can rest assured that your dog is more scared, even if it's not obvious why. Sometimes the answer to this can be that your dog is in distress due to some kind of illness or physical pain. Other times, something could trigger their anxiety, connected to a past even you don't know about. Heck, your dog might not even remember what it's about, but they hear or see something, and the next moment they are on their feet, growling and baring their teeth. If that's the case, the most important thing to do is not to approach them. You might think that petting your dog will calm them down, but if they're already freaked out, then having you start moving towards them and reaching out your hands could potentially be mistaken for an attack. This is how people get bitten. Instead, keep your distance and let your pooch come to you. Speak gently to them and offer them treats and toys to help them see you as a friend. Sign number 9. Your dog probably knows the basic commands like come here, sit, stay, and bathroom. But what if they suddenly act like they're hearing the word for the first time? If your dog is refusing to do what you tell them, and especially if they're refusing to come when called, then that's a sign that your dog, at this particular moment, is having trouble seeing you as somebody who they should trust and listen to. The good news is, it's probably about inconsistency. If you use different commands for the same action, for example, then your dog can become confused and may feel like you're just shouting random words at them rather than actually issuing instructions. If you want your dog to come over, then you should pick one thing that you say to call them, such as their name, or here, or come. Otherwise, if you use all 3 words, then your dog will likely stop hearing the signal and concentrate on the noise. Sign number 10. You might be familiar with the idea of a cat's fur standing on end when they get angry or scared, but did you know that dogs kind of do this as well? They won't get the same all-over puffed up and fluffy look that a mad moggy will get, but you might notice their hackles standing on end. A dog's hackles are the hairs along their shoulders and spine. When they stand up, it can look a bit like your pup has a mohawk. Dogs who are really upset might also hunch their backs to make themselves look bigger. Back away and try talking to your dog in a calming, soothing voice. If they do this when you pet them, then consider getting them checked out by a vet, as they may have some injury or illness that is making being pet uncomfy for them. Whenever a dog seems stressed for no reason, try to make a mental note of what was happening around them right before they freaked out. Dogs see the world very differently from humans, and sometimes things that seem perfectly normal to us can be super scary to them. And here's a sign that most dog owners associate with being unloved by their dog, but is actually a dog's way of communicating the opposite. We've all been there. You come home from a long day at work, and there's your favorite vase smashed on the floor. Or your garbage can has been knocked over, or there's pee on the rug. Usually, dogs know when they did something wrong, Not because they feel bad about their mischief, but because they've learned to associate breaking things or peeing on the rug with being in trouble, and they're trying to placate you. So your pup might be hiding from you when you come in, or standing near the scene of the crime, looking guilty and ashamed. Okay, so you probably know that already. But what if your dog has clearly done something wrong but is acting like it's all cool? Why are they not feeling guilty for causing you trouble? Well, but that's the thing. Dogs just don't feel guilt. What many humans interpret as guilty body language is actually just a dog's way of showing fear or submission. If your dog is not treating a torn-up shoe as a crime story with them as the main hero, that's because they haven't learned to associate this particular event with being in trouble. So your dog, in their mind, has no reason to be placating you. That's one sign that your dog isn't uncaring or indifferent. A dog is a human's best friend, but does it work the other way around? Our dogs behave lovingly towards us, but they can also behave that way towards others. How do you know whether you are special? Number 1. Smelly feet. Oh, we all get them. You pull off your shoes at the end of a long day and have to wrinkle your nose at the smell of sweat. But no matter how bad your socks may smell, somebody in your life is sure to love them. Your dog. Your feet may not smell great to a human nose, but to a dog they're a minefield of information. Your sweat contains chemicals called pheromones, which are distinct to you, and which can subtly change depending on things like your mood and your physical health. If your dog seems obsessed with getting a whiff of your sweaty feet or worn-out shoes, then you can rest assured that it's just because they want to learn more about you. Number 2. Sometimes, however, your dog's sock obsession might go a bit further. Do you ever notice things going missing on laundry day? You don't have a poltergeist, you have a polterpooch. And it's not just socks. Anything you wear or handle frequently that is small enough to be hauled away and hidden in a dog basket is at risk of disappearing. Is your dog a kleptomaniac? Well, no. Once again, it's a matter of smell. Dogs are very scent-oriented creatures who use their sense of smell more than any other to help them understand the world around them. Your clothes and things that you handle frequently contain traces of your scent, particularly if they've just been pilfered from the dirty laundry pile. By surrounding themselves with things like this, your dog is able to ensure that they will always have a little piece of you nearby, even when you're out of the house. Number 3. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's just your incredibly bouncy dog, who is feeling very happy about you coming home at the end of the day, and has apparently decided to celebrate by pretending they're on a trampoline. What's going on? Well, aside from the jumping for joy aspect, your dog does actually have a reason for jumping when they see you, other than excess energy. Thanks to our bipedal gait, humans are naturally a lot taller than dogs and tend to tower over them. When your dog sees you for the first time after a long day of work, they want to greet you face to face, and the only way they can really achieve that is by jumping. Number 4. At your service, my good sir. Quite obliged, Lord Barkington. Alright, when your dog bows to you, it isn't actually a formal gesture of respect. Your pup won't be learning to do formal dances or fighting a duel anytime soon. Instead, the bowing gesture that your dog makes when they lower their head and stretch out their front legs is actually the gesture that dogs use to signal that they want to play. Just like with humans, dogs play with people who they like and use play to build social bonds. If your pooch wants you to play with them on a regular basis, then this shows that they consider you to be their bestest buddy. Number 5. You might not think that your dog sleeping on top of you is much of a sign of affection. After all, when you hang out with your friends, you kinda like everyone to be awake for the experience. But your dog isn't dozing off in your arms because they're bored. They're sleeping near you because you make them feel safe. Dogs know that they're vulnerable to attack while they're sleeping, and by sleeping near or on top of you, they're communicating that they trust you to fight off anything that tries to hurt them. Number 6. Are you being watched? Get a sensation like somebody's staring at you from across the room? Perhaps a big-eyed somebody with a wet nose and an adorable fluffy face? Dogs love to stare at their humans, and at times it can be hard to figure out why. Not like they don't know what you look like already. From a dog's perspective, however, staring is an important way of communicating strong emotions. For example, love and affection. When a dog loves somebody, they will often show it by staring at them fixedly with big eyes. Number 7. For some dogs, their love language is gift-giving. Unfortunately, your dog doesn't have access to your Amazon wish list, so they might not know exactly what you've been hoping for. And even if they did, they don't have a lot in the bank to afford it. So what can they give you? What every human desires, toys and treats. Specifically, dog toys that already existed in your home and treats that you gave them, and that might have been partially chewed already. Oh well. It's the thought that counts, and at least you know that your furry friend is thinking of you, even if you might prefer a gift card next time. Number 8. Less than fun fact. Most dogs don't actually enjoy being hugged. Not only is it not a thing in canine body language, not surprisingly since dogs don't really have arms, but having human arms wrapped around their body, particularly if those arms are squeezing, can often feel uncomfortably restrictive and confining to a dog. So, what does it mean if your dog lets you hug them? It means that the two of you have a bond that is stronger than your dog's natural instincts. They know that you like hugging them, and that you would never do anything to actually hurt them, and so they swallow their feelings and let it happen. What a good dog! Number 9. So, if dogs don't like hugging, how do they show affection? Well, one of the more popular ways is through leaning. If you ever noticed your dog leaning against you, it wasn't necessarily because they needed the rest. Dogs lean onto humans and other dogs that they like to show affection. They're literally saying that they trust you to support them. Number 10. Another popular sign of canine affection is the nose nudge. Again, your dog is a very smell-oriented creature. Nudging you with their nose not only allows them to show their love through physical contact, but it also allows them to sniff you. More importantly, if you were another dog, it would allow you the opportunity to sniff them back. Your dog is essentially trying to exchange scents, which is a bit like two friends asking about each other's day. Number 11. When you're petting your dog, do they ever spin around and start showing you their butt? You might think that this is just them being a weirdo or trying to whack you on the head with their tail, but it's actually another sign that they see you as their best friend. When you and your dog run into other dogs on the street or at the dog park, you might notice the two pups start sniffing each other's butts in greeting. As with the feet sniffing, this is about pheromones. Dogs have special glands in their butts that have an extra concentration of these chemicals. When your dog shows you their backside, they're trying to initiate this kind of friendly canine social interaction. We're not recommending that you actually take them up on it and have a sniff, but you can at least appreciate the gesture. It could also be that your pup is trying to subtly, or not so much, hint that they would just love a scratch on the base of their tail, home to numerous nerve endings. Number 12. It's one of the cutest ways that our pups show their affection, and also unfortunately, one of the least hygienic: kisses. Dogs obviously don't kiss the way that humans do. They don't have the necessary muscles in their lips. But you'll be pleased to know that those little licks your pooch gives you are intended to mean roughly the same thing. Dogs lick each other as a form of mutual grooming, and it isn't just about getting clean. It does have that effect as well, but grooming is also calming and a way of reinforcing social bonds. Your dog licking you is their way of saying, "I love you." Is there a flip side to having a loyal companion? Seems impossible. But being a chosen human for your dog means they need a lot of time with you to feel any kind of happiness. These 10 signs will help you understand if your dog may be feeling neglected by you way more than you think.